Now, I want to do a very short video on my Frankford Arsenal seating die, bullet seating die, and my Frankford Arsenal intelligent powder dropper. Now, after some 500 bullets or so that I've reloaded using the Frankfurt Arsenal bullet seating die, what did I find? Am I happy with it? I think it's absolutely the ultimate. And recently I purchased a Hornady uh, gauge, the Concentricity tool to measure how well I've been loading, how accurately. Well, I've loaded some 40 Nosler ballistic tip bullets in 130 grain for my 270 Win. And all of these that I've loaded through this system are between 1 and 2.5 thou when I rotate it. Now, the 130 grain for the same 270, 130 grain nozzle petition, that were between 2 and 3 thou when I spun it. Then last night I reloaded some 7 mil, but I reloaded them in 5 different uh, lengths, or based on the Ojo, 5 different attempts. I'm going to try them at the range, and I've also reloaded some 140 grain 7 mil ballistic tip. These are ballistic silver tips, and out of these, I think 18 bullets, I have varied the most 3 thou. So small adjustment, and I was able to get it right. Now I have some factory load that I've purchased, and for my 7 millimeter Remington mag, and just give you some idea. I'll show you the difference between using a proper bullet seating die and my and a factory load. Now you watch the needle, how it goes up and down. It's about 8 thou difference. Now in this particular batch of bullets, I've noticed somewhere up to 15 thou in difference. Now I can straighten that out simply by adjusting it, pressuring it on the low side, and then checking it again. And the difference is now about 4 thou, so 4 or 5. I can now adjust it a bit more, and I can bring it hopefully so that it's concentric. There it is. Still not good enough. I'll have to do a bit more. You might have to do this 2 or 3 times till you get it right, but you can get it right. Some bullets are a bit more difficult because of the type of bullet, but it generally can be done. Takes a little bit of patience to get it right. You might have to do 3 or 4 different spots till you get it perfectly right. This one was pretty bad, so it'll take a little bit extra. I'm down to about 4 or 5 thou, and I'm sure I'll get it right down. I've done the one that was 15 thou. I got it down to within 2, so I was happy with that. A little bit more, and now I should be fine. If you overcorrect it, you just check it, test it, and then redo it again till you get it right. It's not a difficult task. It takes a little bit of time, but it's not bad. Now this one, I'm struggling to get it perfectly down to 2 thou, which I always like to do it, but it's sitting around 4 thou now, 4, maybe 4.5. And from where it was around 10, you can see now when I rotate it, it's about 4.5 or thereabouts. which is a lot better than where it was about 10, 12. So between the IntelliDropper, which I think is absolutely great value, it's incredibly fast and incredibly accurate, certainly good, more than good enough for hunting, and the seeding die, where I'm getting really good seeding. I'm not getting big variances. I think they both have been a really good investment, and I've proven it by using the concentric tool to be able to check it. Now, to operate, you really need three hands. You got to pull this pin out, you got to move it back, pull out the bullet. To give you an idea, I'll take one of these bullets, 130 grain. By the way, the tool is set up for 270. It's a medium tool. It'll take care of 170 also, 270 and 7 mil. Now, you watch the needle here now when I rotate the bullet. It hardly moves 1 thou. And that's what happens when you load using this IntelliDropper. It's almost a foolproof way of getting it right with one little simple tool. Now compare that to holding the bullet in your hand and trying to place it over the case and then pulling it down and hope you've got it right. It doesn't work out. There's another factory load that I can try to have a look to see how that will go. All right, this one is about 7 thou. I'll show you now. Compare this to my bullet. You see how it's moving from 85 down to 78. Now I can bring it down here, and I'm going to stress it here, bring it back, and then I'm going to see what that does. Not much, so let's try it again. These are brand new unfired cases, unfired bullets. This one won't go. So some of them can be a little bit hard to get them to move. So you'll have to try it 2 or 3 times and put a bit extra pressure on it. So I'm down to about 5 from 7. So let's see if I can get it a bit further. Just one go. And that's the difference between hand loading and buying factory ammunition. Even though I've had fairly good response with factory ammunition in my 7mm gun, but not perfect. Now I've got another manufacturer here in the 7mm also. I'm keeping this one separate because I bought it at shows just for the cases. I bought this at the time. It was really hard to buy any cases. Now here is another factory load, and you'll be surprised. There are some good factory loads, although this factory load is 200 feet below the stated, but you can see the needle moves less than 2 thou. And I found this particular brand, which is Norma, to 150 grain 7mm. These that I found out to be within 2 thou, occasionally a 3 out of all the 60 or so that I have tested. So you can get some good factory loads, and then some are just so far out, and it's not based around price, it's just based around what they do. These are 150 grain a nozzler expansion tip for my 7mm. Every one, they're a larger bullet, and I'm working 5 different distances back of the jam just so that I can check the accuracy and the velocities. and I'm going to go to the range in the next few days to check those. But these just work that so perfect. And what I find that the deeper you seat the bullet, the more accurate it gets. The further the bullet is out, in other words, the longer the bullet, the more variation you will have, and so you'll need to then adjust it as much as possible. Anyhow, so much for that. I love both of my Frankford Arsenal tools. Now, I'm not loyal to one brand. I have RCB Express, Hornady tools, Frankford Arsenal. What else do I have? Something else. I vary my bullets also. I mostly stick with Nosler, but I will be testing others as well in the near future. I've got a 223 Psycho 85 coming with a 24-inch heavy barrel, and I'll be giving some of my triple twos a run for their money. Have a good time, everybody. Hope you should straight. Enjoy it.